Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. It's the Premier League preview show, and what a Premier League preview show we've got for you. Manchester Derby, but it's not actually technically the biggest game of the weekend, although it probably is. We'll be going through that. I'm going to do a quick Manchester Derby combined 11 as well. I'm not going to spend too long on that because Man City are going to dominate it, but loads to get through. Fasten your seatbelts, and also top left hand corner. Winners. We're sponsored by Winners. What is Winners? Well, it's an awesome new gaming platform that allows you to play FIFA and win real money by getting victories in 1v1 matches and tournaments. It's totally free to register and it's super simple to get set up. All you have to do is choose your game and your console, choose the amount and challenge an opponent, and if you win the game then you get the cash directly into your bank account. Transaction on Winners are 100% secure, and withdrawal of winnings, got there in the end, is immediate. Winners also match you with an opponent of similar skill, so you're not going to get up against me all the time because I'll smash you obviously, so you will play somebody who's actually around your level, so you've also always got a fair shot of winning a game of FIFA. And if there are any issues, then Winners also have a 24/7 helpline to help with any requests. Because Winners also love That's Football audience, they are giving away one of the super rare PS5s. Yes, we're giving away through Winners a super rare PS5. So head over to my Instagram now and find out how you could win a PS5 with Winners today. You must be over 18 to play on the Winners platform, and terms and conditions apply. Thanks so much to Winners for sponsoring the show, and make sure you go check out the Winners platform by clicking the link in the description. Obviously, my Instagram page to enter the PS5 competition is at Goldbridge Mark on Instagram. We'll drop the link in for the chat for you there. So Winners, a way of playing FIFA and winning real money if you can win games of 1v1s or tournaments, and also a PS5 given away. Big shout out to Winners. Remember, you must be over 18. Terms and conditions apply. You don't need to be over 18 to watch the football this weekend. It might be hot, but it won't be that sort of filth. It could get filthy. It could be a few tasty tackles, but basically I've done the over 18 thing and it's backfired a bit. Reality is, it's open for all. Premier League, well, you probably need a subscription to watch it properly, but Manchester Derby, Liverpool West Ham is a massive game though. I mean, the reason I'm saying the Manchester Derby is the biggest game of the weekend because it's Manchester United against Manchester City. It's Pep against Ollie. If he loses this game, who knows what's going to happen. But also, I think I've got a bit of porridge on my mouth there. I am recording this in the morning. But the reality is, when you look at the league table, which I'm going to do now, the Premier League table is very interesting in the context that Liverpool are playing West Ham on Sunday afternoon. We're doing a watch along for that on this channel. But actually, when you look at the league at the moment, you've got Chelsea on top with 25. They're at home to Burnley. You'd expect them to win that. 3 points behind them, you've got Liverpool against West Ham. 2 points behind them, you've got Man City and West Ham on 20 points. 5 points off Chelsea. Now in the Cox, tongue tats to the top four, because 5th is Man United on 17 and 6th is Arsenal on 17. Well, they're 8 points off Chelsea. I think the top four is really interesting today, and for that reason it's bye-bye Man United, Arsenal and anyone else. Focus on Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City and West Ham. This could be a really big weekend for Chelsea, because if Chelsea beat Burnley, which they should, 28 points. Liverpool, West Ham, one of them's going to drop points. Chelsea will be hoping it's Liverpool, but, you know, there's a reality is if Liverpool draw with West Ham, then they'll both be on 20. Well, Liverpool will be on 23 points. Chelsea could be on 28. That'd be a 5 point gap on them. If Man City don't beat United, that's going to be at least 6 points gap on Man City. So this is a really big weekend for Chelsea. Get the job done against Burnley, and then, you know, see what happens in the Manchester Derby and the Liverpool West Ham games. So it's really 2 games this weekend. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Manchester Derby first, but West Ham against Liverpool, 4th against 2nd, separated by 2 points. That is a massive game on Sunday. And as I said, Chelsea, this is the weekend Chelsea have been working for. Now, a lot of people would have thought he won't start talking about Chelsea at the start of this video. Well, he will do, because Chelsea have had a ridiculously hard start to the season. I remember when the fixtures came out as a United fan, I was like, oh, we could start this league quite well. By the start of the 3rd international break, I'd expect us to be at the top. I expected Chelsea to be maybe 5 or 6 points off the top because of the start to the season they had. They've played Arsenal, Spurs, they've played Liverpool, they've played Man City. You know, they've had a tough start to the season, and yet they're sitting top of the league by 3 points. And on Monday morning, they could be up to 6 points clear. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So it's a big weekend for Chelsea if they beat Burnley, and everyone else has got their work to do. Now, obviously, the Manchester derby is the first game of the weekend. I tell a lie, there is another game. It's Friday night football, Southampton against Aston Villa. It's bonfire night here in the UK. I'll be watching fireworks. I won't be watching Southampton against Villa. I mean, nothing against the two of them, but boring is the word in relation to that. Villa are underperforming. Southampton, it's 15th against 14th. The weekend starts. Don't forget to do your fancy Premier League team though, because that might catch you out Friday night football. There's a Goldbridge tip for you. But Manchester United against Manchester City, Pep against Ollie. I think it's Pep against Ronaldo. I've spoken about this on the United Stand. I've done an intensive preview on that. I'm going to go for a draw in this, and I would say a draw is the worst result. Now, I know people will go, what is he talking about? A draw is not a bad result. Obviously, I don't want United to lose, but if we do lose, I think Ollie needs to go. And if we win, at least it's a bit of momentum. If we draw, it's like, into the international break, where are we? So that's what I mean. I don't want to lose. I'll take a draw over a loss. But if we did lose, I think change might happen. If we win, change might happen. But if we draw, it's like 2 weeks of an international break with a coach that we don't really think is good enough, waiting for, what's going to happen after the international break. You want some momentum from a win, or if we do lose, then, the club needs to make a change. So it'll be a draw. I think it'll be a draw because I think it's just that's the sort of way this season's going for United. We won't find out either way. It'll just be a draw. For Manchester City, though, I must just say, they do need to win this game for the reason I just said. If they draw this game, 21 points, Chelsea will go up to 28 points. They'll be 7 points off the top of the league, playing the same games. That's a lot of points to claw back. And they can do it, and the title's not won in November by any means, but City need to win. They also need to win because Liverpool went and won there. They also need to win because I think Chelsea would beat United at the moment. So this is a test of City's credentials. That loss to Palace was frustrating for them. They obviously lost on the opening day to Spurs as well. They've already dropped 6 points that they really shouldn't be dropping. They need to go and stamp their authority against United. But I think United, playing for Ollie as the players are at the moment, that I think they will make it very difficult. Park the bus, hit on the brake, and it might be a frustrating lunchtime Saturday United Stand watch along. You can tune in for that. Liverpool against West Ham I want to talk about next. I think this is a massive, massive game. Just very quickly, Chelsea-Burnley, Chelsea win that game. I mean, Burnley are improving. They're clawing those points. They're only 3 points away from Leeds now and Watford and Villa, but they're still in the third from bottom. I think Burnley have the experience to get out of trouble, but it'll be very difficult against the Chelsea side that's looking for 5 wins in a row. Their last loss was Man City. They've won 4 on the bounce since. And this is something, again, I mean, it's turning into the Chelsea appreciation show. This is why Chelsea, they've only conceded 3 goals all season and they've played 10 games. That is a platform for a team to get in a title race. But also Chelsea, difficult start to the season. They lose at Man City. They lose to Man City at Stamford Bridge and everyone's like, oh, that's it. Chelsea can't win the league. What's the best way? And I've seen United do this. I remember United losing twice to Liverpool in a season and still winning the league. Because it's like, bang, get up. Tyson Fury effect. Bang. You're going to get knocked down in this game. You better get up and win the next game and the next game. And that loss to Man City, whilst it was damaging, the fact they've been and won their next 4, and Man City in their last few games have drawn and lost the game, well, you've made points on City in the next 4 games. You've taken 12, and in the 4 since City beat you, they've taken 7. So, you made 5 points on them. So that's how you do it. And that's how Chelsea have done it. It's relentless. In between the big games, they're win, 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 win. Liverpool-West Ham's really interesting. I think the form Liverpool are in, I think they will go to West Ham and win. The same as they did last year. Very similar game last year. Obviously no fans in the ground. West Ham were doing well. Liverpool went there and Liverpool were too good for them. And Moyes sort of tried to hit them on the break. I think West Ham are having a fantastic season and it would be great for the league and a United fan if Liverpool were to lose. And I think with Antonio playing, West Ham are a different team. It's such a shame West Ham don't have another striker because when Antonio doesn't play, this is where they'll drop points. But he will play in this game, obviously. He's in my fantasy Premier League team, so I hope he scores, although I have got Salah as well. But I expect goals in this game, but I think Liverpool at the moment are just a cut above, and I think I can see them winning this 3-1. Who else is back? Well, Arsenal-Watford. I mean, it's the tale of the other clubs now. We dropped down to sort of 5th. United on 17, Arsenal on 17, Wolves on 16, Brighton on 16, and then Spurs on 15. And it's those clutch of clubs I want to talk about. If United win, they go up to level points with maybe West Ham and Man City, and we're in joint fourth, and everyone goes, oh yeah, Ollie's at the wheel, but we'll be 8 points off Chelsea still. So, we're not in a title race, and that's where we should be. But the Glazers will go, look, fourth place, and some fans will go, oh yeah, fourth place, we're level with City. It's a shit season for United, and where we are in the league, even if we beat City, is not good enough. For Arsenal, it's a different story. At home to Watford on Sunday afternoon, if they win that, they go to 20 points. They're firmly in a race for fourth. Now, I predicted they'd finish fifth. I got laughed at the start of the season, but I think with no European football, they didn't play in Europe this week. They should be fresh, and I expect them to beat them. And then it's about what they can do between, the next international break, and this international break finishing, and Christmas. But Arsenal have got to beat Watford. The worst thing Arsenal could do is not beat Watford and allow those teams behind them to close up on them. Arsenal need to start. They're not going to get near Chelsea. I don't think they're going to get near Liverpool. They're not going to get near Man City when they get going. But Arsenal need to attach themselves to West Ham and United and not let the teams behind them catch them. So I expect Arsenal to win that. Obviously, Brighton are at home to Newcastle. Now, Brighton, Saturday night, 5:30, Brighton home to Newcastle. If they were to win that game, they'd go up to 19 points as well. And I fancy Brighton to win that. So keep an eye on Brighton. Very good start to the season. And I'd expect them to beat Newcastle as well. 19 points. That's going to put them a point behind Arsenal if they win, a point behind United if United beat City. More likely, they'll leapfrog United if they beat Brighton. So that's a real opportunity for them. And then interestingly, with Spurs, I think Spurs will have Spurs against Everton. It's 9th against 10th. It's another good game. I mean, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to find a way of watching it, I think, because I don't think it's on the telly, but it's really interesting. Conte's first real game against Everton, who've sort of been okay, but recently they've started 3 losses in a row for Everton. So Tottenham at Everton, 15 points for Spurs, 14 points for Everton, 9th against 10th. They're in that clutch of clubs with Leicester and Brentford. If Spurs go and beat Everton and United lose to City or draw, they'll be past them or on the same points, and that's just by making lose last week to United, change your manager, beat Everton, go above United if they lose to City. This is what change can do. So I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game there, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I think that'll be a draw. I can see that being a 2-2 between Everton and Spurs, to be honest with you. What other games have we got to cover? Okay, so Brentford Norwich. It's a very difficult game. Brentford the bubble's starting to burst. Norwich are terrible. I'd fancy a draw in that 1-1. Chelsea, Burnley, Crystal Palace, Wolves. Wolves are on a good run of form. Palace probably don't have the points they deserve. Very difficult game to predict that. I'm actually going to go with a draw in that one as well, 1-1. We've done Brighton, Newcastle, Arsenal, Watford, Everton, Spurs. The last one then is Leeds against Leicester, which again it's a difficult one. Leeds are having a terrible season. I don't think Leicester are having a good season. Again, I think we might get a score draw there, so I'm going to go 2-2. But again, it's Leeds, Leicester, Crystal Palace, Wolves. This is why this league's a very difficult league if you're not Liverpool, Chelsea and Man City, because everybody's capable of beating everybody, apart from if you're playing teams like Newcastle and Norwich at the moment, who are pretty poor. In relation to a United Man City combined 11, I'm only going to whiz through this very, very quickly. Ederson in goal over De Gea. I do like De Gea, but I think Ederson is a cut above, to be fair. That mistake from De Gea in midweek just shows that he's. I think De Gea is a fantastic keeper, but I think the environment might be starting to affect him now. You can only keep your head above water for so long when the boat's sinking, and I think it's starting to affect De Gea a little bit, especially with the defence performing so badly in front of him. So yeah, I'd put Ederson in goal. Right back, I'd actually go with Cancelo. I'd put him at right back. My centre backs would be Varane and Diaz. My left back would be Luke Shaw. I don't really rate Mendy. Not Mendy. Well, nobody rates Mendy at the moment. I don't really rate. I don't rate him as a footballer. I can say that. I don't really rate Zinchenko that much. He's steady, but I'd prefer Luke Shaw. And we're going. I suppose we're going on best 11 here. I'm not going on necessarily who's injured. This, that, and the other. Midfield 3. Well, look, Rodri's got to play. I would go Rodri. It's very. I would go Rodri, Gundogan, and De Bruyne, and that hurts to do that. But I can't play Rodri, Bruno, and De Bruyne, so I've got to play a box-to-box player, which is Gundogan. And if I've got to choose between De Bruyne and Bruno, it's got to be De Bruyne. I think Bruno's fantastic, but it's Kevin De Bruyne. So it's a Man City midfield. Front three, Ronaldo plays. We're not playing a false nine. Obviously, Pep will be the manager, but we're not playing a false nine. Ronaldo is the 9. And then I'm going to go with, I mean, there's an abundance of players, none of which will be United players because Rashford's not playing particularly well. Greenwood's not a winger. Sancho's not even being picked. So this is Ollie's fault. I would go with... The hard thing is which Man City players to play. I like Mahrez off the right, and off the left, I would probably go with Sterling over Grealish. So a front 6 of Man City. So reality is only Varane and Luke Shaw get in, and people will argue about Shaw getting in. So it's a domination, effectively. Front 6 is all Man City's, apart from Ronaldo. Ronaldo's in, of course. Ronaldo and Varane definitely, and then I would argue Luke Shaw left back. But, you know, you could argue him out and say it's only 2. The reality is I think there should be more United players in, but I think a lot of it's to do with the way we play football. I think Bruno can compete with De Bruyne, but I wouldn't put him there at the moment. I think De Gea can compete with Edison, but I think he's starting to get swamped by how crap the defence is. You know, and I think some of our midfielders should be getting in there as well. But, you know, and our wide players. You know, I don't think Sterling's amazing, but our wide players are not performing. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video. And as I said, you can win a PS5. Links are in the video description through Winners. Also check out Winners if you're a FIFA player, you're over 18 and you fancy playing some games where you could win real money. That's what the Winners platform is all around. You've got to be over 18 to do it. Links in the chat. Check it out. I certainly will be. And you never know, you might get a game against me. I'll speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for watching.